America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back.
I had a shot in there.
It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life.
Come here.
A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running. Run! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
They call it the City of Angels, but take it from me. There's more to LA than bright lights and Tinseltown glamour.
Los Angeles is a melting pot of crime.
I have nothing at all.
The cops here face everything. From action movie-style robberies to mass public disorder and thousands of active gang members.
He's one of the go-to guys for guns.
I'm going into the hood with the LAPD gang units. On their mission to clean up the city's most dangerous neighborhoods. He's admitted that he's took it now, but he still won't tell them how much. Gang crime is rife here, with violence, shootings and murders, part of everyday life in South Central LA.
The most dangerous place on earth.
Someone said a gunshot's been heard.
Hit the curb. Put your hands on your head, turn around.
Los Angeles is the second most populated city in the United States, home to 3.8 million people and the film industry. And for the past few years, it's been my adopted hometown. Everyone knows about Rodeo Drive, Sunset Boulevard and Venice Beach. But beyond the glamour, hard bodies and whitened teeth is another side to the city. And it's the side that I'm gonna see firsthand when I head out with the cops. In the past 5 years alone, these streets have witnessed over 23,000 gang-related crimes. But before I head out, I want to get an idea of what I'm going to be facing. So I come to meet a man who's seen it all, Commander Pat Gannon, the head of all the gang units in the LAPD. How many gangs are there here?
There are hundreds of gangs in the city of Los Angeles. In the south part of the city, in South Los Angeles, in one small 10-square-mile area, there's 60 gangs with 60 subsets of those particular gangs.
10-mile block?
In a 10-mile area.
Where did it all start then? How did it?
Oh my gosh!
How do you think it all started?
It evolved over a period of time. For Los Angeles, it's when cocaine, crack cocaine, PCP, and those types of drugs became very prevalent. Mm-hmm. And then you had the selling of those drugs became a moneymaker. I tell you, for gang members talk about neighborhoods and protecting their own, and it's all for the neighborhood. It's about money.
LA is home to the most infamous gangs in the world, the Bloods and the Crips. And their main business is the drug trade. The Bloods and the Crips are the city's black gangs. Added into the mix are the Hispanic gangs. In the last 25 years, more than 10,000 gang members have been killed. The highest concentration of gang activity is in the city, the notorious 77th district, and that's where I'm headed. I'm going to be on patrol with Sergeant Ron Lopez. The wall of his office is a rogues gallery of gang members, and there's quite a few of them.
These guys here are Bloods, 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 Bloods. And then within the Crips, there's two different sets of Crips. There's neighborhood Crips and gangster Crips. Vastly different. Even though they're both called Crips, they don't get along. Neighborhood Crips, neighborhood Crips as well. The Troubles, Hoovers. All Hoovers are gangster Crips. So these guys will fight these guys just as much as they would fight these guys.
Now I've seen what we're up against, it's time to get in amongst it, and I'm headed straight into the thick of it. We're headed deep in the heart of the 77th District gangland. Some gang members who are on parole have been spotted drinking at a house party. They're breaking the conditions of their release.
We know there's gang members in the party that are on probation and parole. They're not supposed to be hanging out together.
It may not sound dangerous, but it's a potential tinderbox situation, and it could escalate into something far bigger.
Other reason for breaking up gang parties is that it allows rival gangs to have a good target.
A few blocks away, the cops plan their raid on the gathering.
On the southwest corner, there's a lookout out there. He's dressed in black, the black cap on. So we've been seeing him up and down the street all night, just driving around. So
we're gonna jam everybody up and put them all against the east side of the building.
They're not taking any chances.
All right, saddle up.
Every actor should have one of these.
If everybody's still there, pertaining to the information we got during the little briefing right now, should be a pretty good hit.
A lot of drinking, a lot of booze, a lot of drugs, possible guns.
All of the above are very likely in a situation like this. What our guys will be paying specific attention for is that one or two guys that try to make a break for it on the back side of the group. It has the potential to be very dangerous.
The boys seem quite keyed up for it. They like all this, do they?
Oh, it's like a kid going to Disneyland for them. They affectionately refer to it as smashing.
Yeah.
It's we're gonna go smash a party. So,
As we get closer, we kill the lights.
you go ahead and kill the light.
And then hit the gas.
You're up against the wall right there. Everybody up. Go, hit the fence on your head. Let's go.
The party girls are lined up as the cops search the location for drugs and guns. But they find nothing, and the gang members they were looking for seem to have slipped into the night.
They had surveillance that there was a few gang members there that they wanted to round up, but they think maybe the boys they were after slipped out. So it's a bit of after Lord Mayor's show a little bit. So we'll move on anyway.
I'm in the hometown of movies, Los Angeles, California. It's the showbiz capital of the world, but behind the glitz and glamour lies an underbelly of crime and violence. I'm seeing a different side to the city, with the cops of the LAPD Special Gang Unit, who specialise in tackling gang crime. LA's gang problem is an ongoing battle. The two most infamous gangs are the Bloods and the Crips.
Crip to the heart, man.
The Crips emerged in the early 70s and are identifiable with their blue colours. The Bloods, whose colour is red, was formed a few years later to rival the Crips. Along with large numbers of Hispanic gangs that populate the city, gang crime has been the major problem facing the LAPD. I'm rolling with Sergeant Ron Lopez. It's my first time on patrol on the Los Angeles streets, but Ron's been doing this for 14 years. The LAPD is in his blood.
What was your inspiration behind becoming a cop, especially so early?
I grew up with it. I'm actually second generation. My dad did 38 years with LAPD. So this is all I knew as a kid growing up.
As we drive around, I start to get an idea of the problems the cops face.
This house here, we pulled an AK-47 out of this house.
You get a lot of the young kids getting caught up in crossfires and stuff?
Yeah, we had 7- and 8-year-old girl got killed about a year ago, and there was about 300 cruisers in the gas station there, the Shell gas station. They were all just standing there, you know, smoking and joking. Somebody came by, and whether he was the right guy or not, they came by and he got shot right in the melon.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So it doesn't matter what street you turn on, at some point there's some gang influence there.
Well, there's danger on every corner.
Essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
who wants to live with that? Ron gets a call about a bust a few blocks away. Officers spotted a known gang member acting suspiciously as they drove past his house. First on the scene was Officer Steve McLean, and both the gang member and the property are well known to the cops.
It's one of our regular stops we check on here. It's notorious for selling drugs back here. Been in this particular apartment before for weapons violations. We've recovered assault rifles from this room. Anyway, when we came down here today, we recognised the probationer. Just stepping out of the house, saw us, slams the door back. There was a strong smell of marijuana. We covered the house for get some additional units because they're not opening the door, delaying our investigation.
The cops suspect he has relieved himself of the stash before they could get in.
You flushed it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He had a toilet flush, so I imagine they're flushing the dog down the toilet, and that's where we are right now. We got nothing. We've cleared the house for people, conducted a probation search, and nothing.
This is the 60s Brim blood gang. This is their area, so he's a documented gang member, and he's one of the ones that actually sells dope for benefit of that gang.
Steve and I have something in common. He's an expat pounding the beat in LA. After a stint in the British Army, he came over here and joined up with the cops.
This is our British LAPD cop. Don't get many of them to the pound. Where are you from?
Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some mates there. I used to run a Brighton Dogs.
Oh, right.
I used to have a few dogs there, yeah.
I imagine my brother wasted some money on your dogs then.
Yeah, he's a dog man, is he? Or just a gambler?
Dogs, yeah, gambler.
Dogs, horses,
Dogs,
isn't it?
gamble, football.
Yeah.
He's a dirty player like you.
Not now. See? Reputations.
This time, Steve hasn't got his man, but he's not deterred.
Upstairs. Today, he stays out. Catch him next week.
Catching gangsters is not easy, because in the battle against the gangs, the odds are always stacked up against the police.
There's 12 of us working against
2,000?
2,000.
Yeah.
So you could have every gang officer in the city working and you're still outnumbered 5 to 1, 6 to 1.
But despite this numerical disadvantage, the 77th Gang Unit is getting results. In recent years, they have had great success in getting illegal guns off the streets.
Our unit has taken more guns off the street than any other gang unit in the entire city. Last year, we took almost 200 guns off the street. The year before, we took 250 guns off the street. I think this year we're at about 120 so far this year. So, I mean, in 2.5 years, that's almost 600 guns we've taken off the street. So, you average it out, we're at better than 1 every 2 days.
Yeah. Drug-related crime is an ongoing battle for the cops in LA. Latest figures show that seizures of cocaine are up 150%, marijuana 200%, and methamphetamines are a staggering 1,000%. I'm back on the streets with Sergeant Lopez, and it's not long before I see for myself an example of LA's drug problem. The cops have spotted some young gang members selling drugs on the street corner. For these guys, the day's business is over. Chris and Steve have come around the corner, 2 lads on the thing here, probably lookouts, bolted in here, so they've stopped running after them. This kid and this other kid were around the side here, and as they saw the cops, he's gone bosh and smashed it into his mouth, and they tried to get him down and get that out like that. But in his desperation, the juvenile has swallowed his stash of crack.
I think they're about to call the paramedics now because he's 13 and he's swallowed it. So it's now turned into a major incident now.
Yeah, he just told us he swallowed rock cocaine. He won't tell us how much, though. He said he swallowed a baggie, but he's not sure how much is in there.
He's admitted that he's took it now, but he still won't tell them how much.
Normally, adults can handle it, but it depends on the quantity they swallow. Can have a pretty adverse, make them pretty sick.
The cops can't take any chances, so the boy's taken to hospital in handcuffs as his surprised father looks on.
Hey, you swallow some dope?
I take that look away as an admission of guilt.
My son ain't swallowing no dope. I don't care what you say, you can take it as admission or whatever, but I know my son ain't swallowing no fucking drugs.
His dad came out there. He said to him, you swallowed dope, and he can't even answer his dad. He just looked away, which is so sad. You know, you can see the situation we're in here, which ain't the best. He's already involved, 14 years old, you know. So, you know, he's a victim of the gangs, you know, and hopefully if he gets the stomach pump, he won't do it again. So, we'll go on anyway.
I was born by a river, hey, in a little tea, oh, just like a river I've been running. Damn right.
The age of some of these gang members has shocked me. Many of them seem barely into their teens. One of the main problems in tackling gang crime is that there is always a steady supply of recruits ready to sign up.
I see all these guys hanging out right here in front. Yeah. They're all gangsters or gangsters' family. Yeah. For the older guys, it's easier or beneficial to recruit the younger up-and-comers, so to speak. Say, okay, you want to earn your stripes, go out. You know, anybody who's deemed to be or labeled a shooter, in other words, someone who will go out and actually shoot someone, has instant credibility amongst their gang. Because not every gang member has the guts or the backbone to go out and do a shooting.
They need to make sure that any possible gang activity is nipped in the bud. Keeping on top of gang problems is all about suppressing their activities, being proactive and not reactive. We've been called to a stop search of a known gang member.
These guys, Vinnie, they're both on parole, which means they have search conditions. So at any time they're stopped by any police officer in California, they're subject to search, their car is subject to search, as well as their house.
The man claims to no longer be a gang member.
Ain't nothing. I be in school every day.
What are you studying?
Business science.
Where at?
El Camino.
Yeah?
But the cops suspect he is still a major player.
The intelligence that we have on the older of the two with the ponytails, he's a member of the A. Trey Hoover Gangster Crips. He's been a member since 1985. Because of the amount of time he has in the gang, he has instant credibility on the street. And if he was to tell a new member to do something, they would do it out of respect for him and his position of authority. Because of his time in the gang and seniority, so to speak, he's one of the shot callers supplying a lot of narcotics in the area, as well as he's one of the go-to guys for guns. So the likelihood of us one day stopping him and having a gun in the car is there.
The search has found nothing and the man is released. But like many who claim to be reformed gangsters, he's very much on the cops' radar. It's not too difficult for the cops to spot gang members, as they are easily identified by their tattoos, although some are in the most unusual places.
Aaron just got put on, so he's tattooed his eyelids. That's brand new. When'd you get that done?
I can't tell you.
Well, this week.
It's like 6, 7.
And what does that mean?
Neighborhood crip.
Christian got put on when he was, what, 13, 14? He put on? He went through boot camp where my partner was instructor. Anyway, part of the deal was he gets his tattoos removed, but he's still hanging out. He's from 6, 7 neighborhood crips, so he's got 6, 7 on his chest.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Here he has his rival gangs, hand sign whacked out. Up in these fuck hoovers. How many times have you been shot?
I don't even know. I lost count. But it's bullet holes every fucking where. Look at the telephone. Look at the cars.
Why not?
But it's cool though. I don't even want them to find them if I get killed. I don't care.
Is it a dangerous place to live?
Hell yeah, it's the most dangerous place on earth.
How high were you when you did that?
I wasn't sober.
You were sober? Really? What'd your mom say?
My mama dead. She ain't say shit.
Good thing.
Not really. Turn around.
England,
Take off.
England, bro.
Take what off?
Take off.
England, bro.
I was about to say, y'all looking at my ass again? He told me to spread my cheeks and bend over. Him and his other homie.
If you truly want to disconnect, you can. You can go get your gang tattoos removed, or you can get them covered up, and you can change your lifestyle if you choose to do it. But as long as you're in the neighborhood and you're still dressing and wearing the colors and flying your tattoos, then you're not out of the game no matter what you say.
But when your face is covered with them, that's easier said than done. I've come to a project called Homeboy, which for many gang members is a way out from life on the streets. The project gives gang members opportunities to rehabilitate themselves, which includes a free tattoo removal service.
These people just come in. Anybody off the street can just walk in?
Anyone off the street can come in. If your tattoos are gang related and they're like on your face, the front of your neck or your head, you know, you're obviously a walking target. So we try to get you in as soon as we can. Even if you were to stop by today, we'll try to get you in today.
I'll have to get around to it one day.
Yeah, think about it.
Today, gang member Ishmael De Santiago is in the chair. The ink is lasered out of his skin in a process which has been described as having hot chip fat hitting your face.
Stay in there, bro.
It's okay. That's all right. The body can only take so much sometimes.
The laser sends short pulses of intense light into the top layers of the skin. The energy breaks the ink into small pieces, which are later naturally removed by the body's immune system. Tattoos are painful enough going on. It's even worse taking them off.
Go on, bro. What you're doing, man, is a massive thing. I really applaud you, honestly, big time. What is this? What is the gang?
London.
Is that a big organisation?
It's all right, you know.
Will they say to you, what are you doing?
They'll probably get disappointed, you know, but...
You just got to say, I'm moving on.
I'm moving on. The only time I see them is when I come to prison, but that's something I don't...
You done with prison now?
I just got out like 3 weeks ago, so...
Good for you, man. Wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
All right, so go next door, they'll bandage you up. Then they give you some extra
Thank you very
care.
much. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Really appreciate it.
To take tats off your face is, I mean, the pain is ridiculous, you know, and I just, you know, commend them for that. And that is the loveliest thing, what I've been getting from here today, is their start, and it's the start of my new life. You know, he's probably got 8 or 9 more treatments, but he's 24 and his life's just started. What's that all about? You know, best years of my life was up to about 24, I think. You know? And that, you know, they're starting again, so it's fantastic.
Out the back, I meet Eddie, one of the managers here at Homeboy. He explains how gang life was inevitable for him.
I've been through the whole system, juvenile hall, YA, prison, you name it, I've been through it.
How long you done in prison?
5 years altogether. I've been shot multiple times.
How old was you when you first got shot?
18.
Yeah.
You know, I got shot right here. I got shot right here. It was a rival gang, and I was about to go to a spot, score some more dope to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? And before I even got there, I got shot. They were standing outside the car and they just started shooting. They knew who I was because of the dirt I've done. They shot me from in the car, and then when I was on the ground, they came and shot me 4 times in the stomach.
What, of a 2-2?
2-5. And I still got 1 bullet left in me.
Because it's better to leave it in than take it out?
Because it's too close to the artery to my heart.
Do you think the main problem is drugs? Do you think that's the main cause of all the violence?
Yeah, it has to do with that. It has to do with that. Because you can come up to somebody, they might be high off their ass. You don't even know them, they might have a gun on them. And that's it, you're done.
I'm in Los Angeles, the second largest city in the United States. And I'm here with the cops of the LAPD's gang unit who patrol the notorious 77th District. This city, where I now live, is the home of Hollywood and the film industry. But back in 1992, it provided the backdrop for an event that made Die Hard and the Terminator look like a tea party. Armageddon came to Los Angeles, as the worst rioting America had ever witnessed was played out on the streets. For 6 days, thousands of Angelenos rioted. There was widespread looting, assault and arson. Damage to property was estimated at $1 billion. 2,000 people were injured and 53 were killed. But the murder rate today in the 77th District is on the decline. I'm with Dan Horan, LAPD officer with 27 years of experience. And he has seen firsthand the reduction in homicide on the streets.
As of today, in the 77th Street Division, the 11 square miles, we've had 17 murders. And probably 10 or 15 years ago, for the year, we had over 160. So that just, if we could finish the year with less than 35, that's borders on the miraculous.
But even though gang-related murders are decreasing, the cops cannot afford to get complacent, especially at night. What's normally the more pressure from these gangs? Is it during the day, Dan, or is it more active in the evenings and the night?
There's probably twice as much gang crime during the hours of darkness as there is in the daytime. It's easier to caper at night. You get the cover of darkness to your advantage. So they're busier at night, so that's why we work at night.
Dan and his colleagues know there's a chance they might have to use their weapons. This year alone, the LAPD has confiscated 3,600 illegal weapons. If you pull your gun, if there's, a slim chance, I mean, for you to pull your gun, there's got to be some kind of danger. So that must be fear, adrenaline, terror, everything must be going through your mind. Plus you're focusing.
Well, for a police officer, I would hope it's not necessarily terror, but you have to be ready, because even though it's calm right now, within blocks of us, there are a lot of people who are criminals. Gangsters who like to shoot each other, people who commit robberies and other violent crime, and everything can change in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
The radio can all of a sudden say there's a robbery in progress, there's a shooting in progress, or a shooting just occurred, and you're sitting at the intersection, and there go the suspects. The next thing you know, you're in a car chase.
Suddenly, we're on the trail of a well-known gangster. He is pulled over by the cops.
Go ahead. These guys here are obviously a couple of gangsters. They're from a gang called the H. Ray Hoovers. You notice the guy in the driver's seat, you see his baseball hat there with a star on it. I believe it's a Houston Astros cap. That's one of their emblems of that gang.
Approaching a vehicle can be very dangerous for a cop. They have to be on their guard.
They're known to carry guns. So you walk up in a car like that, you really have to be on your toes because it's one of the most vulnerable times as a police officer. You could have a gun right here and you wouldn't know it till you're right up next to him. So, for 27 years, I've never gotten rid of the butterflies of walking up on a car, especially when it's driven by a couple of gangsters.
How's the business going? It's all right. I have no problem.
The gang member they have pulled over is someone they know well, and he isn't giving them any problems. It's strange, because as the car is searched, there's even time for a bit of banter.
The purpose of the documentary, what does that hat stand for? I'm trying to keep it real.
That's it. I'm going to keep it real with you. You already know.
Although there were no problems with the stop and search, Dan knows he can never afford to drop his guard.
Despite his relatively calm demeanor and respectful attitude, you still got to be careful with him.
So everything that you know that's gone on over the years and what you've heard that's happened to other officers, you take that into every situation, yeah?
Yeah, of course. But when you do make a mistake, you better learn from it. Hopefully you survive it. And most in your field, you make a mistake, yeah, take two.
Yeah.
Around here, you make a mistake and there is no take two.
With this in mind, I'm even more cautious as we respond to a gang-related call.
Unclear from article. So,
what is that shit?
The officer stopped these three individuals here. They're gang members. They're behaving suspiciously. One of them behaved as though he might have had a gun.
It's a tense situation, and I get the feeling trouble could kick off at any moment.
They didn't do nothing.
Don't come over here, she's all right. She's all right, don't come over here, you'll wind it up.
That's my brother.
That's what she wants to. She wants to make a big scene, so don't bring the camera over.
I believe these guys are rolling 40s Crips, which is the gang that claims this neighborhood here. And then we're going down the street to the parolee. His house is right down the block. We're going to his house. The parole agent is we're all gonna conduct a search to make sure he doesn't have any guns or drugs or anything else he's not supposed to have.
The cops search the suspect's house.
Anybody inside, step out.
But in the end, they find nothing. One of the suspects is being taken in because he gave the cops a false name. But he doesn't seem too bothered. He's more interested in talking movies.
Just the guy in the movies. Hey, shake my hand.
I'll get arrested.
I seen Snatch, yeah.
I had a real gun then. Desert Eagle .50.
Desert Eagle? Nah, I only got 8 shots. What movie you was in?
I've been in a lot of movies, man.
I want to watch it tonight. He got good access.
I don't think they've got TV where you're going, dude.
You sound like that. You sound really I'll kill you, but I'm just saying like
They're drunk. They're really drunk.
Hey, give me a card.
A card? I don't have a card.
I can call you or something, you know?
All right, man, you take it easy.
You too, man.
The work of the cops in LA is not all about gangs. Like everywhere, they have to deal with the potentially dangerous domestic calls. In 2008, cops were called to a house where an armed man had barricaded himself inside. He'd called the police saying that he had killed 3 relatives.
The caller indicated that he had killed 3 of his family members. West Valley patrol units responded to conduct the investigation. The suspect refused to leave the home, and LAPD SWAT was called to the scene.
There followed a standoff, during which gunfire was exchanged between the man and the police. One officer was killed and another one was seriously injured. I'm back with Ron Lopez and we're on our way to a domestic. They've had a report of a serious incident at a private address.
We just got called as a party with 40 or 50 males there and a gunshot. Someone said a gunshot's been heard, so...
The original call was for 1 shot being heard. And then the second call was for the party. So one of my units has already just arrived there at scene, so we'll head that way and see what we get.
A male teenager has a serious head wound. Nobody seems to want to tell the cops what happened. They just want an ambulance.
We have some type of stabbing, maybe a knife, maybe a bottle, family party, but they're refusing to say anything because they're saying we don't know what happened. Well, ask him what happened. Well, we don't care what happened right now. We just want an ambulance. That's all we're getting so far.
We already called the ambulance, okay?
I'm not letting go till you guys bring him.
Thank you.
No, I'm not letting go. No, it's too big. No.
Let me see how
If I
bad.
don't put pressure on it, it's gonna bleed.
Let me see
No.
it.
Go into the embassy real quick. Just let him see real quick.
No, are you EMT?
Actually,
No.
yeah.
No, I'm not. No.
They're right here, man, so give it a minute.
Everybody back up. Back up.
The boy has been stabbed with a bottle in the back of the neck. He got involved in a dispute with two guys his sister had gone off with.
It is. I like 142. My blood pressure is always bad. Go ahead, let them do what they're gonna do.
Apparently she was in a car. They want to go get her. I don't know, they had a confrontation with some of her friends. And apparently he said that somebody told him that I guess they hit him, or I don't know, they started fighting. I don't know what happened. But either he got stabbed in the head. I don't know, I was in the bathroom. I just came out and he told me that my brothers were fighting, which is my little brother. He's only fucking 15. So I don't know what's going on right now.
And I just spoke to his sister there, and she said he went round a couple of blocks round the corner to get his little sister who's drunk to bring her back, and she was in a car with some fellas, and next minute it went off, and somebody ran up to him and said, "You're bleeding from the back." He didn't know. And maybe he said, "Get out of the car, come home because you're drunk," and he's been whacked for it. I mean, he's got a gash out of his back. I mean, could have been a bullet in the side of the head, you know.
It's the early hours now, and there's a report that some drug dealers have been operating on a street corner. When we arrive, air support has been drafted in to try and track them.
The boys are just saying when they turned up, there was a couple of people that ran off. Two that way, two that way. So they couldn't find anything here, so they've called in the helicopter to look onto the roof. Check for dope packages or guns.
The dealers use the bushes to pass over the merchandise to the buyers.
We pulled a good bit of dope out of this bush right here. One of the older guys from this hood was selling dope here.
So they just whiz in there and then put their arm in the bush, huh?
Yeah, you can kind of see like the holes and stuff that they'll they'll put like sometimes they'll use like a condom, stick it, just stick it right there, so that if you drive by, it just looks like they're hanging out. And then
what do? They park gear, they get the gear, give it to them, and they're gone.
Yeah, that's how they were doing it.
But it's not only the drugs that can be bad for your health. Picking them up can be deadly.
Just be careful. There's a whole shitload of black widow spiders over there. So
is there?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
There aren't any gangsters around, but there are a few black widow spiders. It's definitely time to call it a night. I'm in Los Angeles with the cops of the LAPD Special Gang Unit. I'm in the 77th District, a part of the city renowned for its high levels of gang activity. I'm out on patrol with Sergeant Ron Lopez, and although it feels not much is happening, he always keeps a ready eye.
So even though, we're cruising around at the moment, relatively quite quiet, you still wait for that call and then you're just 100% back in that mode.
You're still always, like you just said, trying to pick up on what's going on, waiting for that, call to come out, or waiting for something to happen right in front of you.
Because in this city, anything is possible. Sometimes life imitates art, as in the case of this robbery in North Hollywood that resembled an action movie. Two men armed with automatic weapons and over 3,000 rounds of ammunition stole $300,000 from Bank of America. After leaving the bank, They engaged LAPD officers in a firefight and attempted their getaway in a car. As one drove, the other fired on police. They split up, and one continued firing on the police with his Beretta pistol. He was shot in the hand and dropped his weapon. When he picked it up, he placed the muzzle under his chin and shot himself as a round from a police officer's handgun simultaneously severed his spine. With the tyres of the getaway car blown out, the second robber tried to steal a truck but was unable to start it. Taking cover, he continued his firefight with the cops until he was shot in his unprotected lower legs and surrendered. But by the time the ambulance arrived, he was dead.
What happened, guys came in with guns, started shooting, started screaming. I went in the vault, I prayed, I did what I could to help others if they needed to, and I'm here talking to you guys today.
Multiple civilians and officers were wounded in the robbery. Incredibly, no officer was killed. But in the past 8 years, 8 LAPD officers have been killed in the line of duty. So the cops' families have it tough too. I'm back out with Ron Lopez, who has a wife and children.
Wives that have got guys on the job like you, I mean, it's, especially night work, I would imagine it's quite hairy for them.
She's been with me since just before I came on the job. So this is all she's ever known, is me doing this line of work.
Do you think she worries?
Deep down she does. If she didn't, then I might be a little concerned.
Yeah.
I have the same routine every day before I go to work. You know, I make sure I give the kids a kiss goodbye every single day, whether they're happy with their dad at the time or not.
One thing I've learned is that the cops in LA are always on their guard, no matter how innocuous a situation may appear.
These are all rolling 60s. What's up, man?
Oh, I want to be on camera.
Hey, the way you were just dancing, I figured you wanted to be a superstar.
As the evening draws in, more gang members are stopped, more tattoos are checked. Today's been quiet. No shots have been fired and nobody's got hurt. So for the cops, it's been a good day.
We've got a different approach, but I just get a feeling that they're a little bit on top of it here, and just them being around at the moment is keeping everything quiet, which is a good thing.
With proactive tactics and an approach that focuses on suppressing gang violence before it can escalate, the cops of the 77th District are achieving their aims. So far this year, the murder rate is at its lowest for more than 60 years. It seems that the law is starting to wrestle back control of the streets from the gangs.